Hey guys, how's it going? We're doing another Q&A. It's been another week. It's been a really good week. It was so nice to be caught up on all my videos. Also, not my rooster. I was wearing the not my rooster hat and I decided to just switch out. I was about to flip it around. My mom was here this last week and she was actually here for like a week and a half with us and it was so nice. She spent the last week down at my uncle's house and got to see a baby being born while she was down there. One of my cousins had a baby. It was really nice to have her here. She was here for 2 weeks. She's never been able to be out here that long since she's been in Texas. And so it was cool that it worked out and that she had to be here for the baby and surprise my uncle. He had no clue that she was coming. We showed up to, I guess, another cousin, his kids' football game. And he was like, wait, what are you guys doing here? So it was really cool. And we had a great time. We got to go to the coast and hang out and I ate way too much good food and derailed everything that I've been doing at the gym. So last week's videos were the Q&A, mass planting a bunch of Hooka, planting a bunch of sad plants, planting the Stand By Me clematis, and the new fountain. And oh my gosh, it is so good. We love this new fountain. Where we're sitting now, I can't hear it because I've got this little one right here and then I've got the other lion fountain. But you can hear it once you get past these. You just kind of like lightly hear the sound of water and it has been so nice. And it's all leveled and we hooked it up to irrigation and it's so good. I do want to say that if you were thinking about getting it, I don't know if it's still in stock, but at the time of filming this, there are only 12 left in stock. So I would jump on it. I'm going to imagine that there are probably going to be a little less in stock by the time this goes out on Monday. This fountain has moved really fast. So if you were eyeing it and you've been thinking about it, jump on it. And as always, all of the links for anything that I talk about will be in the description down below. All you do is hit that little more button and then you hit more again and you should be able to get all of the links for everything. If you're on your phone and if you're on PC, you should just hit the more button and you'll be able to see all of the links to anything that we talk about. And I have a ton of links in every video that I always try to talk about products. So the first video from last week was the Q&A. First question on that video was from Jean and they had said, would you consider a lavender or rosemary hedge where you were thinking of putting down pea gravel? I grow both in dry sunny spot with a rock mulch in zone 7 and they do great. I might do a rosemary hedge. I hadn't thought about that. We have a lavender hedge in the front of the property. A rosemary hedge might actually be really nice. It takes me back to my grandparents' house. They had a huge rock retaining wall that had a bunch of rosemary on it and we always kind of played there when we were kids. That actually might be fun. I think I might do that. I was looking at a couple other things. I was thinking about boxwood, but Brent hates boxwood. But this isn't our forever home, so I wasn't too worried about it. But that actually might be really nice because it smells really, really good. The next question on that video is from Dorothy and she had said, Dear Robbie, do you guys experience hurricanes in your area? We don't experience hurricanes. We do, I guess, experience earthquakes, but if we're being honest, I have never felt one. Everyone says that they have felt one here, and you just feel like they're super minor. But like I've never once even noticed that it happens. Most of the time, you just think like somebody was shutting a door, I guess, or somebody was driving by on a semi truck, and it's not that big of a deal. So no hurricanes, but we do get earthquakes. Like I said, I've never once noticed it. And the last question on that video is from LSCIPIO6118. And they had said, Robbie, I love your friendship with Janie. You have a great chemistry. I live in zone 10 and would like to plant a willow tree. What type of willow did you gift Janie? I pulled up the computer because I couldn't remember how to say it. It is a Salix babylonica. Salix babylonica, weeping willow, or Babylon willow. That's what I gave her. And they can get 80 feet tall. So they get absolutely massive. So it does say that they are zones 6 through 8, but I'm in a zone 9, and I know that they grow here because they grow all over the side of the roads here. I see them in people's yards, but they don't look very good because they don't get enough water. They are it's a willow tree, so they're very water hungry. So if you're in a zone 10, that might be pushing it, but not impossible. Might be worth a shot. I don't listen to growing zones. The next video that we did was Huge Impact by Mass Planting Colorful Hooka. Oh my gosh. that transformed that area. There was a bunch of plants there and they were all just super sad looking. Nothing was super exciting. And now it just like glows back there, especially now that we added the fountain. But the heuchera, it is so gorgeous. I have to move one of them. There's one that is getting burned. It's getting a little bit too much sun. So I want to address that, and I'll probably end up moving that after we're done filming today. First question on that video was from Amy, and she had said, "It looks fabulous. Can you share how you keep them looking full and happy? My heuchera are never happy, and I have no luck with those pretty varieties." Okay, so more water than you think. Don't let them sit in water. Plant them in enough shade, but also like bright indirect light helps. If it's a bright area, which that area is pretty bright, because it gets the afternoon sun, but it also then the light reflects off of our shed, so it's very bright there. So they're going to be very happy there. I used to have ones called Black Pearl, and they did amazing there. I think I got 3 years out of them, and they got absolutely massive. And then I think we had like an irrigation issue over there, and so they died. So you gotta make sure they have water. That's kind of my biggest thing. I mean, maybe if you're in a wet area, like you don't need to, but I only know life with having to have irrigation. So plenty enough water, bright indirect light, and they should be pretty happy. But I've heard a lot of people say that they usually only get like 2 years out of them. So they're probably just a short-lived plant as it is. But I usually get a couple years, like 3-4 years out of these guys. The next question on that video was from Deanna, and she had said, "Robbie, stunning. What is behind the birch trees?" That is a snowball viburnum, which is another plant that is not in my zone that I grow. That is snowball viburnums, I think, are like zone 7, maybe zone 8. And like I said, I'm a zone 9. And if I grow them in deep, deep shade. They don't want any sun in my growing zone, which is funny because they should be able to handle a good amount of sun in like pretty much anywhere else but here. But I had 2 of them. One of them did get some sun. It burned, it died. This one I decided to plant, and I planted it tucked underneath the canopy of trees. And last year I got the most glorious show of like the snowball viburnum blooms, which was so amazing because they happened so early. And then it was this just beautiful green plant. So snowball viburnum, highly recommend it, especially if you're in lower zones. If you're in a higher zone like me and you find one, make sure you're planting it in deep shade. Like deep shade, and give it plenty of water. The next question on that video is from My Yard of Flowers, and they had said, "Gorgeous display. Where do you buy your brown drip tube?" You can get all of it at Home Depot. I will link it in the description down below. I have a post, I think, all about irrigation. I think. It's a post where you can shop everything that I use for irrigation, and so I will link that in the description down below. The next question on that video is from Cynthia, and she had said, "Robbie, you need an auger. I know I've seen you use one before. Is it not big enough for the size hole you need?" I have a video coming out later this week about augers, so stay tuned for that. And the one auger, well, I own 2 augers. I own one that I use for bulbs, and then I have another one that was a super cheap one, and I have just destroyed that thing so much so it was like a hex head, which is the only type of auger that I recommend is buy one that has a hex head on it. And it had a hex head, but it was made out of like really crummy steel. I think it was like a $12 auger or something like that. Now it just spins inside the drill. So it goes down a little bit and then it just spins in the drill. And so I have to back it back out. I actually have to pull it out of the ground, and then I have to retighten the chuck on the drill, and then I have to drill down a little bit more. So it doesn't work that well. And so I have something coming, I think tomorrow. And the last question on that video is from Krista, and she had said, "Do you have slug problems in your area?" We don't. Yes, we have slugs and snails and pincher bugs, and they are just decimating everything. I'm gonna show you a video right now of what has happened. These awful, awful creatures. They're just destroying everything. I think that this is slugs and pincher bug damage. So yeah, we do. And it's really infuriating. And I do use the slug and bug, and when I start using the slug and bug, it helps a lot. I just never put slug and bug in that container because I was like, well, it's in a container, it should be fine. And turns out it's not fine. So normally I have to use slug and bug very, very early when hostas start to emerge because they just go psychotic for my hostas. And there's been a couple years where I've been a little late, and so then the first leaves that like unfurl have slug damage on them. And they do go for a lot of other things. So that's also another reason that I don't start seeds in ground, is because of the slugs and snails and pincher bugs, is they just come and destroy them. That's why I do everything in containers, or in seed starting trays. So yeah, we're living the dream over here. It's really great. The next video that we did was sad plants. It should be stunning next year, and it's gonna be so good next year. Once they get a little bit of life in them and their roots are gonna be able to fully develop this fall time, which will be so nice. So plants do this thing where it's sleep, creep, leap. And so I'm expecting that this year, because they're going to spend the end of this season sleeping, they're not going to do any growth, and they'll be able to use all of the fall and winter to get a nice healthy root system, that next year they should creep. So they should put on a small amount of growth, but they should grow some. And then by year 3 is when they leap and they should fully take off. So essentially by planting it in the fall time like this, which is it really fall? I'm gonna say yes. I'm buying myself in a whole extra year. The first question on that video is from Daisy Gray, and she had said, the roosters and dogs are too cute. As gardeners, we know the plants will look great next season. Could you put up the shade cloth to stop the honeydew from dropping on the plants? Probably not. I mean, shade cloth, no, because it'll just go through the shade cloth. It's a 30% shade cloth, so, and it would just be such a waste of the shade cloth. It would just, it's not even worth it. It's just, it is a frustrating thing. We have noticed that it slowed down since we put the systemic on there. We use this stuff called Bio Advance, which is like a neon color when you put it on the ground, and the tree sucks it up, and then as the aphids like eat the leaves or suck on the leaves, the sap of them, they die because it's the poison that goes into the plant. So Bio Advance, that's what we've used the last 2 years now, I believe, and it helps. We just have to stay on it, and we have to do it early enough. So this year we did it once, and then we thought we were good, and we didn't do it a second time, and then all of a sudden it started happening. We're like, oh, okay, we are late. We need to do it one more time. So next year we will do it twice, and we shouldn't have a problem as long as we do it twice a year. The next question on that video is from Sue Kelly, and she had said, would you be able to cut the branches off the tree, or is it too big? So we actually had an arborist come, and they took out a giant tree that we had, and I had them limb up the pecan tree right to the fence line. So they took off every single branch at the fence line, and now there's just a couple small branches because of the growth that's happened this year of branches hanging over, but it's not a whole lot. The problem is that it's so tall, and if any wind blows, it drops down and it kind of comes this way. So that's the problem, is that the wind is blowing the honeydew, and I know that it's happening in their yard too. We're just getting a little excess of it. We're getting less this year than we got last year. Last year was really bad. This year is better, but the wind is just kind of taking it over the fence. So the tree is pretty much right at the fence line. And the last question on that video is from Carol, and she had said, hi Robbie, you are the one video I make sure to watch every day. You bring me, and so many others, great smiles and laughs along with your garden adventures and advice. So my question, why do white flowers have issues? I love white flowers. Thanks. You are so sweet. Thank you for being here every single day. That is crazy. The fact that anybody wants to watch these videos every single day. I just appreciate you guys. Okay, so as far as white flowers go, I think bugs are attracted to bright things like that, and white flowers tend to just like glow because they're white. And so I think bugs are attracted to them for that reason. And then also white flowers just have so many issues because they tend to hold on to their blooms. My biggest issue with them, at least, is they hold on to their blooms once they die. And when they die, they turn this like brown color, and the blooms just sit there and they take away from the plant. So then all you see is just dead white blooms everywhere. So if you're gonna get something that has white blooms, you wanna make sure that it lets go of its blooms, or it does something called burying its dead, which means that like it'll do a flush of blooms, and then over that flush, another flush of blooms comes and you don't see them. But I don't know why pests are so attracted to white blooms. I really do think it's because they just like, they glow, they stand out. I mean, like, you know, pink stands out and all these other colors, but white blooms, they catch your eye very quickly. I love white flowers. They do just have a lot of issues. The next question on that video is from Connie, and she had said, why didn't you cut the sad plants back? I thought it would cause less stress to the plants if they are cut back when they are already stressed because they aren't trying to support the canopy. But fun video. Okay, so I didn't cut them back because I knew that they were still going to photosynthesize some, and I didn't want to take all of the foliar growth back because, I mean, those plants were super damaged. So I didn't want to make it so they couldn't photosynthesize, and I'm seeing plenty of new growth happening now, and I will probably this weekend at some point go through and I will cut them back now that I'm seeing new growth happen. I just didn't want to completely get rid of all of their foliar growth because I knew that they were going to just take a little bit of energy, and I thought maybe they might need a little bit more. If it was like part of the plant was damaged, I would have sheared it back, at least that one part, but it was most of these plants. A good chunk of the whole entire plant was damaged, so I just decided to just leave it and call it good, and we'll get it on the ground. And I think I might have made the right choice on that one. Normally I would do a shear back, but those plants I just kind of decided not to. And the last question on that video is from Debbie, and she had said, quick question. I know you have a few big dogs. I have 3. Why does my lawn have yellow burn marks all over it? And my plantings look like they're peed on constantly. Yours are beautiful. Okay, so I don't know, you might have males and females. We have 2 females. If you have males, they're probably peeing on your plants. They're probably lifting the leg, peeing on your plants. Our females, they pee on our lawn, and what you see on my videos, just remember, social media is not real because I don't show you the worst parts of my garden. Because the job here is to inspire people to garden and show the best of gardening and show what looks good. I mean, like, I set this camera up right here because it looks good. I could have been out in the lawn and you guys would be like, Robbie, what is going on? I will pop a clip up right now of what our lawn looks like currently, and it is because we have 2 females. What I do try to do is, if the sprinklers haven't gone off, so like in the mornings when the sprinklers go off and then they come out and they go pee, it's good. But if it's in the afternoon and I'm home and I see that they go pee, I usually try to grab the hose and I hose down that area. Because of the pee, because it's so hot, it's burning the grass roots, and because it has so much nitrogen in it in dogs, and when your female dogs, they like sit to pee, all of that goes into one area and it's full of nitrogen, and that's killing the lawn. So it's too much nitrogen in one area, so you have to grab the hose and kind of hose it down after, and you should be like totally good. I noticed that if I do hose it down, then we're good to go. When we had our male dog, he would lift his leg and he would pee on things, and I would try to hose it down. But male dogs also have the same amount of nitrogen. They just don't pee in one little spot. So usually with males, it's not the biggest issue, but if they're peeing on your plants, it's getting too much nitrogen to your plants and killing your plants, and it's also too hot. It's hot water. So I hope that helps because we have the same issue. I just hose it down. And the next video that we did was planting Stand By Me clematis, my dream plant. This has been a plant that I have wanted in my garden for probably 3 years now or something like that. I've seen other gardeners grow it, and I just thought it was so gorgeous. I have terrible luck with clematis, and this one has not hit my growing zone, so I'll probably have bad luck with it also, but I thought it was worth a shot. I got the plants for free, and so I had 2 of them, and I was like, I'm gonna try it in a like sunny spot where the roots can stay cool, and then another area where it's a little bit more shaded so the whole plant can stay cool. Clematis typically like lots of sun, except for on their roots. They don't want their roots to be hot, so they don't want them to dry out. They don't want them to be sitting in water. They also don't want the soil to cook right there. So usually you want to plant something kind of in front of it. So I'm hoping that I can do this experiment and I can try and see if I find a spot in my garden where I can get a couple years out of it, because they're so, so gorgeous. First question on that video is from Fee, and they had said, Robbie, what is the name of the dark colored sedum with pink flowers? It's so beautiful. That is the sedum called Evolution Chocolate Fountain. I hope that helps. And it is growing zones 4 through 9. I love it. And when I planted that plant, I planted it for Brent, and he does not love it. So you win some, you lose some. The next question on the video is from Carolyn, and she had said, I'm excited to see how the clematis does for you. Have you gotten everything planted now from the shipment you got? I have not gotten everything. a couple reasons. One, I was waiting for what you guys are going to see in tomorrow's video to show up to make my life a lot easier. And I was also, I have some plants that are going down to a friend's house, which are going to get planted, I think, Monday or Tuesday or something like that. And you guys will see that at the very end of this week. So headed down to her house to get some planting done, and I'm really excited about it. So it should be good, because we're going to do like yard makeover on a budget, basically. And the last question on that video is from Callison, and they had said, curious, why are you planting the clematis where a hydrangea was already burning? So clematis like sun. So I have two of them, and so I'm planting one that is in shade, and I'm planting one that is in sun, because it's not something that I should be able to grow in my growing zone. So this is more of an experiment for me to just kind of like try it out and see if it actually is going to work. We're gonna test it out. We're gonna see if it grows better here in sun or in shade, or if I can even grow it at all. So both of these have ample water, and I need one that gets full sun. So I have a rose and I have sedum, and then I've tucked it right behind those so the roots stay nice and cool in that area. So the hydrangea is a shade lover. Clematis are sun lovers. They do want sun, but being how hot we get and how dry we get, I thought that it might be best to give it a little bit of extra help. And also, I will be moving the hydrangea. It's not going to stay there anymore. I'm just waiting for it to cool down. Once we get into like the low 70s, 60 degrees, then the hydrangea is going to get moved out of the sun area. I don't want to keep that there because it just burns. And the last video that we did was the fountain. It is so good. And like I said, it is selling out very, very quickly. You guys have loved looking at that fountain. So if you're wanting to get that, I probably wouldn't delay, because like I said, it is going very quickly. And at the time of filming this, there are only 12 left in stock. It says more on the way, but when I went to go order it, there was only 2 left in stock. And then I waited, and then it said that there were more on the way, and I had to wait like 3 weeks to be able to reorder it. So I'm just saying, you could get it 3 weeks earlier if you don't want to wait. The first question on that video is from Maritza, and she said, it looks perfect. I've been wanting a fountain for the front of my house, but needed something smaller, so it is not so obnoxious. This one is perfect. Where did you buy this? It looks amazing. It's from Amazon. It'll be linked in the description of this video, and it was linked in the description of the last video also, and it is perfect. The next question on that video is from Cindy, and she had said, I think, maybe, I've read, you can use clear silicone to make a teardrop shape in the spout area to reduce the splatter. Love the fountain, on my wish list. There's actually been a couple comments on here about ways to reduce the splatter, and so one that I think I'm going to try is you use like, it was called like rocks on a string or something, or string rocks or something like that. And basically it's a rock that has like fishing wire on it, and the fishing wire goes from the very top where the water comes out, and it hangs straight down. And so that way the water just goes down the fishing line instead of like spewing out everywhere. You probably will lose the sound a little bit. So we're gonna try it out and see if it works. I'm just going to DIY one, see if it works. But also we did put a 2 gallon per hour emitter on the fountain, so that way it auto refills. We had originally I put a 1 gallon per hour, and that wasn't enough. So now we put a 2 gallon per hour emitter, meaning that it gets 1 gallon of water every single day now. So our irrigation goes off for enough time, math. Yeah, it basically auto refills every single day now, which has been really helpful. But I am going to just DIY some. So I'm going to take some fishing wire and attach it to a rock and have it run down. And that should maybe solve the issue. But if it gets rid of the water sound, then I probably will just take it out and I'll keep an eye on refilling it. The next question on the video is from Diane, and she had said, can you adjust the flow on your pump? You can adjust the flow on the pump. And when I had originally turned it on, it was on max, and it was coming out the top a little too fast. And now it's on the lowest. It still does splatter, and it doesn't have anything to do with how much the water is coming out. It's just the water coming out of that top basin and going into the bottom basin. And it comes out and it hits it, and it's a little tiny bit of water that splashes out. So it's not anything big and noticeable, but throughout the course of 24 hours, it's enough that it drains the fountain a decent amount. The next question on the video is from Lydia, and she had said, Robbie, now that the beautiful fountain is set up, the white little fence looks out of sorts. Would you be open to painting it black so the star back there would be the fountain? Thanks, and hi to Brent. Hi, Brent. I cannot believe how many comments there were. Holy cow. Yes, I will at this point be painting it black. I didn't even think about it. Honestly, when you are back there, you don't even think about it. But on camera, I was looking back at it, and yeah, it definitely stands out. It's so weird how that works, like how on camera things happen versus how things in real life look. So in real life, it doesn't stand out that much, I swear. But on camera, yeah, it glows. So I will definitely be painting it black when I have a spare hour of time. And the last question for this week is from Betty Boop, and they had said, "Your fountain looks beautiful. Water features add so much to a garden. Have you considered adding some sort of soft lighting for it? Your happiness makes me smile." We are definitely going to be adding some type of lighting back there now. We didn't have power back there. Brent ran some power back there, so now we have an outdoor outlet on the back of the shed. And so we will be running power back there now. And I've got a couple extra spotlights that we had used for the willow tree. And so I think back there, if I can light up like the birch trees and just get some like ambient lighting back there, it'll be really gorgeous. So definitely very soon I will be adding some lighting back there because it needs it back there. Especially I want to be able to see from the house. I would love to be able to see back to that area. So that is going to be it for this video, you guys. Thank you for coming along with me this week or last week and this week for all of these videos and fun projects. And if you missed it, we went live over on YouTube on this channel. And I went live 2 times and I did make a post. So if you are not subscribed, consider hitting that subscribe button because that is the way that you will get notified if I'm going live. And that is also the way where you will see my community post. So if you go to my channel, you'll see a little tab that says post and you can see updates of if I'm not going to be posting a video or of certain things that are happening on the channel that I need you guys to know about, or if we're going live. So I try to give plenty enough notice. We went live twice in one day, and we are also doing lots of things over on Instagram. So if you're not hanging out with me on Instagram, consider hanging out with me over there also. I have a lot of fun over there. You guys get a lot more updates, live updates as things happen. If you watch my Instagram stories or if you see my posts and reels, there's a lot of stuff that happens over on Instagram. I'm very active on that platform also. So hit that subscribe button. It is free. I've had a couple people say that they thought they had to pay. You don't have to pay to subscribe. It just helps out my channel a ton. And if you don't have Instagram, you can also go to our website, visitourgarden.blog. I know it's not .com, it's .blog. Somebody already stole .com when we went to go buy it. But if you go to visitourgarden.blog, you'll be able to see everything that I post to my Instagram feed. You won't be able to see my stories, which are live updates every single day, but you will be able to see my posts that I make, which I do post some photos and I do post some really entertaining videos also. Thank you guys for hanging out with me, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye, guys.